All right, this is a fun one. One and all, welcome back to the creative preview for Knights of Crossing Roses. I didn't even know this man was still playing. It's Kalp. We haven't seen him in ages. Of course he'd be a House of Lancaster main. If you guys are not familiar, Kalp was a pretty prolific English spammer back in the good old days. Hasn't been as active recently. Glad to see he's returned to check out the new DLC. Other side, it is going to be Mr. Wallalog God, Mr. Corvinus himself. No elephants to have fun with here. But I guess pilgrims? I mean, well, in fairness, Delhi do sacred sites. Knight Templar do sacred sites. So, match made in heaven. And what am I looking at here? We have... Wait, you're drushing him? Even BC sharing and Doom Isn't you can't cast? No, because when they set up the lobby, they need to make the game observable. By the way, and I will give shout-outs, like, I try to take, instead of this shame approach, I go the other route of, like, praising the people that do it right. Shout out to Crackety. Whenever Crackety was hosting lobbies yesterday, he made them public every time. And I greatly appreciate that. That should be the default behavior. But this is not your default behavior. I don't think I've seen Knights Templar try Dark Age Rush ever so far. Early days, of course. But the craziest part is he's trying a Dark Age Rush against short bows. Remember, Lancaster doesn't have too many similarity to English, but one they do is the villagers can attack you. So yeah, I feel like you're going to need more than this. Wait, Kalp, does he suspect the outpost? No, he clearly doesn't. Korv's going to go back in for another stab. I mean, why not? Yeah. Ooh, Kalp needs to run. Yeah. Luckily, remember, Spearman hit for 7 damage in Dark Age, not 8. So you don't, like, you actually get this kind of saving grace of 1 HP. What makes it better now for Kalp is the fact that he's going for Abbey of Kings. Abbey of Kings is going to give him that rejuvenation straight away. You can actually clear this type of outpost rush by spamming Lords of Lancaster, I think. Mathematically, the health is good enough. And you just cycle them in and out with 230 HP. Like, they just can't be killed quick enough. Yeah, that would actually be really cool. That would force Corvinus to keep a villager here. Now, one interesting thing. Corv is definitely cooking, guys. Because Knights Templar can actually be quite efficient for this play. Normally, you feel bad about leaving the villager here because you have to spend 50 wood to start gathering something. Well, with Knights Templar, you can just walk over to the wood and start chopping. They don't have lumber camps. So there's actually value in keeping this villager here because then also you can always repair if your opponent dives you. But it seems like Corvinus isn't going to do that. Okay, so he's going to head home. So Kalp having access to the game would be the fact that he actually done a lot of content in the past. Is the easiest way to summarize that. Okay, so Abbey of Kings complete. Remember, these lords come out pretty fast, by the way. They take 25 seconds to produce. 30. So the reason why this one takes 30 is its balancing logic, similar to the whole idea of why the first Desert Raid is delayed for Ibits. But the follow-up one's going to be 25. So you get 1 unit for free, then you pay 160 resources. You can already see the strategy here. Kalp, you're going to dive in, slowly burn down this outpost. You can try to kill him, but the reality check, you're going to see in a second. These guys are legit spooky. I think a lot of people are going to get cheesed out of games early on because of these. Are you ready? Check this. 231 HP. 2 melee armor, 2 ranged armor. They hit for 16 damage. They're pretty strong. Interesting enough, Kalp ignores it. Wait, what? Oh my god, he ran all the way to the corner. What? Alright, this is a little bit surprising. I actually didn't think he was going to go for this, but he's ran all the way out of his base without Willbarrow to do this. He's probably not going to get hit there. Especially considering that Corvinus is going into the Principality of Antioch. Yeah, so this is going to give him access to the Axe Throwers. The Axe Throwers actually surprisingly pretty cool. I think they're quite situational. I don't think they're better or worse necessarily against Lord of Lancasters, because this is a unit with balanced armor. But the idea is, the unique thing with the Axe Throwers is they're a ranged unit that does melee damage at ranged. Lancaster and Lord is going to arrive. You want to move away quick. The attack speed is slow on these guys, but they hit pretty hard. So kind of creeps up on you. Now, it's going to be a gold blocker. Now, Corvinus does have enough gold to roll out the boys, but not many. Sergeants cost 50 gold each. He's going to have to consider going to the north side and gathering gold. We also already have Corvinus at a very early phase adding in farms. Yeah, his sheep rotation didn't go well. So on this map, take 4 away from Calp and then do the count. So it's actually an 8 sheep advantage for Calp. Damn good hold. Reminder, Lancastrians start with an additional 4 sheep over any other city. It's one of their unique things to do with the town center. So when you place a town center, you get 4 sheep. These guys are going to have like such an easy time in free-for-all starts, by the way. It looks like he's going to have to run away. Sergeants are pretty quick, so it should be difficult to gap close. Oh, this attack is sick. Ready? Damn, to the face. It's Corvinus, chill. In fairness, you can kind of tank the Lords of Lancaster because you have melee armor. Full melee armor, in fact. I love watching these in small quantities. You really get to soak in the animations. Oh, whoop, no. Damn. All right, that one had some range on it. So Calp's goal here, yeah, he's trying to switch aggro. He doesn't want to lose the Lord, because if he gets him home, Abbey of Memes can heal him up. Fortunately, Corvinus is aware of what's happening. He's going to go for the snipe. Oh, king down, king down. Yo, do you think these guys have like an inner kind of trying to kill each other? What was that movie? Stardust, where the princes are trying to kill each other. It's kind of that vibe. Like, we've all got crowns, but only one of us can be kings. So they're just kind of griefing each other. You just don't realize it. Like, yeah, bro, I'll totally block those axemen from finishing you. Oh, no, they got around me. Damn, long live the king. So switch up the Yeoman is correct by Calp, by the way. This is really cool because Yeoman actually have better movement speed than standard infantry at 1.31. On top of that, they've got better range than the sergeants. And to make matters worse for Corvinus, he went spears. So this is the ultimate counter because remember, these guys have melee armor. They don't have ranged armor though. Oh, good snipe. Does get a villager kill. It's so hard, actually. The interesting thing is actually that you'll get statistically conned, though, because you'll put a villager down to 0 HP with 5 of these. So it says +1, but reminder that the Antioch tech tree gives you 10% more damage on infantry. Well, you do 9 damage, so if you get 10% more, you're at 9.9 damage. So if you're looking at this thinking, wow, that's insane, 5 of them can instantly kill a villager, they can't. If you believe it, you will get baited every time. Good snipes though from the core. Wouldn't mind seeing just like split the micro a bit, because he probably could have killed like all of them by now, but it's a bit tricky at the moment. He's got other things he's doing. And honestly, this just making it so worthwhile. Like, you know you're eventually going to lose the sergeants, but if you can at least take these villagers out, it's a worthwhile exchange. You already killed a Lord of Lancaster as well, which are 160 resources, which makes up for at least 1 sergeant cost. He is actually adding in more. That is a bit surprising to me. We do have pilgrims on the way, though, so I think that's conceptually why Corvinus likes this. This is baiting a lot of attention, and meanwhile, he's farming gold, which allows him to keep vomiting out more sergeants. This is a unit that almost costs as much gold as it costs food. I did notice that, by the way, at like multiple points in the game, what we're seeing is actually that the Knights Templar lean very, very heavily into gold in terms of their costs. Like, to the extreme, like Teutonic Knights, for example, are 80 food, 100 gold. I think people saying that Knights Templar needs a buff, I'm not convinced. Like, public people, like, I don't think I've seen too many pro set, but, you know, public sentiments, they're seeing them losing a lot. It's just because House of Lancaster is easy to get to grips with straight away. But if you think about the mass built into this Civ, the way it scales, I think Knights Templar will be fine. It's just, once again, a very different Civ. The concept is, with these fast tech timings, you theoretically can aggro your opponent, which can offset the loss of 2 villages. Which is basically what we saw here. He's even going to trade out against the Yeoman. Calp actually not microing away, not keeping his distance. Does he think it's worth it to stand his ground so that the Lord of Lancasters get to attack? Because I'm not convinced. I think Yeoman are your recipe to success. Right now, you're kind of engaging with failure here. We'll find most of the range boys get sniped out. More of them on the way. Corv, he's flooding. And this isn't slowing down. No, we've just got so many pilgrims coming through. Farm count is good enough to sustain this. I don't see Corvinus stopping anytime soon. Another villager going down. How? Wait, was he going 2 TC or manas? He's mana spamming. Yeah, but he overgathered on the stone, if that's the case. He's only feudal age, so he can't go for a castle drop. I personally think it's just a matchup issue. I think this would be good against some other civs, just not Lancaster. I'm sorry, we watching the same game right now. It looks pretty good against Lancaster. He outpost rushed them. It all looked pretty good to me. I was actually impressed by how much he got done with that play. Does Corv just go for a tech now? Oh, no. Wait, Calp didn't see it. No, that was so close. He'll get the second group of pilgrims. That means Corvinus is going to have a nice little influx of gold to inject into veterancy. His sergeants have taken a bit of a chill pill. He's going to look to reset that, though. Calp is making the right call, by the way. He split up his troops to try and find where the pilgrims are. He is going to spot them to go down. But the sergeants are on the way. Need the Sergeant's hero song playing. Or we can just go for, like, I don't know, something more classic, like da 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 da. They have those vibes. Da 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 da. Spear's coming as well. Honestly, if Cal can actually just get a solid amount of yeomen together, he counters everything Corv is doing right now. It's just the scale point he's been struggling with. Reminder, yeomen, they are a bit tricky sometimes because they're expensive. They're 90 resources. And we have Kingdom of Castile coming in. Okay, perfect counter to what Calpa's doing right now. Reminder, this is going to give you access to the Genitors, which are javelins on horseback, or for people from Age of Mythology, Terma. They are basically Terma. They are very powerful, only 120 resources, easily spammable at this stage. It also gives a staging point. Corvinus can fight around the sacred sites. I think something that is not rated highly enough in people's minds, casual people's minds right now, when you think about what you want to play with KT, is the value of having free Kurultais stationed across the map. Or, even if you don't get to fight, you've basically got free mini Abbey of Kings playing around the map. Double stable brothers incoming. Good shout. Templar brothers are pretty damn effective here as well. Is he going to go full cav? So Genotor plus Templar brothers. We do have the additional lords being added in. Calp is going full tanky boy. And tech up complete. Does he switch? What would you switch into? Burgundian imports is kind of interesting with 4 lords. Makes you very, very tanky, but it's so slow to scale. The little caps are sick. What, these guys? Well, they just got a lot slicker. Look at that. Oh, they're crisp now. 5 melee armor. 13 base. Okay. Okay, I wasn't expecting that from Calp. He's actually going into the hobbies. Hobbies with probably hill training to get the charge. Why, though? I mean, he doesn't know about the Templar brothers. I think what happened here is this. I don't think Calp even scoured. Maybe, yeah, I think he saw the healing here. So he maybe knows that this is Castile. And he's anticipating the Genitors. The problem is, Corvinus isn't building Genitors at all. Like, he baited me as well with this. I've seen a lot of people just go Jennies, especially when you see Yeoman. Corv, is this a bait and switch? He's still adding sergeants. He's only got 2 Templar brothers. Remember, these are more beefy knights. You do pay more for that. This is what I was talking about. This civ's very unique in the gold food cost kind of exchanges. In fairness, like, this one I think is quite reasonable. They added extra food cost compared to a standard knight instead of adding extra gold. Wait, what am I missing in my chat? Wait, does Mirror actually not have access? Rogan? I don't know, Mirad. Wouldn't you just private your data? Nah, he wouldn't private his data on me. Okay, so Military Academy's on the way. Oh, this is sick, actually. Military Academy and Hill Training, if he can get his food and gold levels, like, scaled, you can blob a ridiculous amount of Hoblar. The problem is I don't know if it's really worth doing here. Like, it counters literally nothing but one genital. And by the way, guys, that says 300 HP Lord of Lancaster. Even the hobbies have 146 HP. The Yeomen have 97 HP caster. It's just so tanky. The problem is, you're tanky, but you kind of lack firepower. This, by the way, is how the Demi-Lancers can get tanky, like I've been talking about. If you combo Demi-Lancers and Lord of Lancasters, they become a really tanky front. These guys are nowhere near tanky enough, though. They might buff their health, they might buff their damage, but their armor still remains made of plastic here. Dive's going to come through. Corvinus looking to break out an outpost rush up, but I just don't even know what that's meant to do for you. I don't think there's going to be really anyone left to get inside. In fact, he doesn't even seek shelter straight away, so no, the village is going to go down. All dead here. Kelp is 2 TC, so that has reset the playing field here. By the way, can we just appreciate this? This is an all-in aggro KT. No 2 TC. I love that Corvinus is cooking in a different direction to everyone else. Meanwhile, Kelp went full green. Mass mana plus 2 TC. And when I say mass, I mean mass. He has all 3 layers of the tech. He did, however, forget to add in the final 2 manners, which is bad manners. Oh, he's just butchering this. I think this is over. I just don't see how Calb wins this now. He's still got a handful of Yeomen, so maybe he'll be able to push away the Sergeants. Technically, if Corv just keeps spamming Templar Brothers, he can break through. It's a bit tricky, though, because like if you go Templar Brothers, your opponent can block spears, because you can't assist with Genitors. Genitors suck against spears. So you kind of want Sergeant Templar. I don't think he has enough gold for that yet, but we are fixing it. You can see on the minimap, multiple fortresses on the way. Corvinus does need to look at relics, by the way. Relics would be a big deal here, especially with the way it plays into treasure towers. Reminder, treasure towers is the one that's going to buff the amount of gold you get from certain activities near it by 20%. So it'll buff the amount of relic gold generated. It'll buff the sacred site gold generation. It'll also buff the amount of gold that pilgrims get from the drop-off. That's huge. In fact, we've already seen earlier today in the Beastie game how he ended up with over 2,000 passive gold income. Only way to get Demi-Lancers is Lord with Wingard. Exactly. But if you're in the late game, like I think the way you have to play Demi-Lancers is with the Lord of Lancaster. Otherwise, I don't think it's worth it. Like, well, that's an all-encompassing statement, isn't it? There. It has its uses, but it definitely feels a lot weaker without the Lords. Down. Reasonable hold here. Remember, he's still climbing up a mountain at the stage. Down by almost 50 Nico. He's still losing more villages in the midst of all this. Corv is beginning to overextend a bit. It looks like this man wants to go into Imperial Age, but he's also diving his opponent at the same time. But the space created, he gets a double Monk Snipe to block out the additional relic grab. And reminder, remaining relics, that this looks like Corvinus can now just follow up and grab them. He does already have treasure towers on the way. Every single fort he adds in makes the pilgrimage bigger. Yeah, so we're up to 4 of these now. They're going to generate 155 gold, I believe it is. About 155, 156. We'll do 155 for ease. So that means he's going to be getting 620 gold about every 70, 75 seconds. And oh my god. Wait, are we just building more sergeants again? Or is this the switch into Teuton? I'd love to see the switch into Teuton. I think he actually has the economy just about make this many Raxes work. But it's going to be more sergeant. Okay. You know what the comedy of this is, guys? What unit could Corvinus build? Okay, there, he actually is built. I was about to say, men-at-arms actually count as everything that Calp's been doing. Unfortunately, the timing's a bit rough. Looks like we actually have crossbows coming in now. Makes sense. So, Yeoman can be okay against sergeants due to the lack of ranged armor entirely. But crossbows are always going to be better because these are classed as a heavy melee infantry. very unique in that regard. Calp? Oh, yes. Calp's been playing, man. He's like, my English feels weird. But Yara Tawarka. Okay, so we actually have keep drops coming in. This offers up a way for Calp to win with a switch into Earlsguard. Earlsguard benefit immensely from keep drops because it gives you the House of Unification. So House Unified, the way it works is you get +1 damage to your more unique units, i.e. your Earlsguard as well as your Demi-Lancers. Per key. Up to a maximum of 4. If you go for Berkshire, you increase that buff up to 6. This is cool, though. Yeah, I noticed this when doing the Agincourt challenge. In fact, you guys didn't realize we actually the world champ in Agincourt. We have the world record. So basically, the thing I noticed is that when you play into the Billman tech, you actually perform a lot better than if you just play into Earlsguard on their own. Because -2 armor is an insanely powerful debuff. Yeah, I think this is interesting actually about House of Lancaster, is if you think about English frontline is designed to wear you down for your attrition. The attack speed's there, sure, but like armor clad, the concept is men-at-arms of English don't die. For House of Lancaster, they are more aggro-focused. Earlsguard, the hybrid attack, the focus on buff damage, the Billman with the Spearman debuff. Sure, there's basically like a mini Gambesons for Spears and Yeoman later in the game, but the reality is you can see that they want to try and lean House of Lancaster's melee into more aggro from infantry and make their cavalry kind of tanks, which is odd but cool at the same time. And this is dirty. This man is money laundering right now. Look at this. 156 gold coming in. The relics, 2 of them together, are generating 191 gold a minute because of that treasure towers effect. Korv, meanwhile, has walked all the way to the back of Calp's base. And we do have Lettre de Change coming in. So this is the loans. Oh, dude, are we actually going to see loans for the first time? So loans are very interesting, guys. The way it works is that you spend a lot of resources to then get some resources over time. So you spend food and you get gold. So you can, there's 3 different tiers. The biggest one is you can spend 4,000 food and you get 900 gold a minute for, was it 4 minutes shot? 5 minutes, I forget. Flash in the corner. Really good micro there from Corvus to pull back here. He saw his opponent had more melee, so he's trying to minimize the impact of that. Meanwhile, Sergeants are sniping out that back line, and the A-click from Calp, not ideal. He knows he needs to actually deal with the Sergeants, and Corvus is now intentionally sticking them in the melee line to confuse things, to make it harder for him to target down the right unit. Calp will eventually get to clear up the fight, but it has bogged him down for a long time. I don't see how Calp's ever getting out of this corner at this stage. He has got Sync Shot on the way. We also do have Trebuchets to try and clear the way, but reminder, at this point in the game, these fortresses have 5,000 HP. Oh, he's going for it. Warwolf Trebuchets. Let's give him the extra range. Has he increased the count now? He should have. Yeah, we're up to 5 pilgrims. Armored spears get countered by crossbows, and horse archers get countered by horsemen and suck against spears. Yeah, I think like armored spears are going to be kind of interesting against horse archers. They should still technically suffer because horse archers have high base damage. I do think that the armored spearman is... It's going to be polarizing at first. I think it's reasonable, but it's also... I think for lower level players in particular, it's going to be confusing at first. It's going to take a lot getting used to. Oh, you like the Warwolf Trebuchets? Look at these things, adorned in all their gold. They look sick. I stand by it, more so than even for English. If you are playing House of Lancaster and you're not red, you've done it wrong. This Civ sick. This Civ looks sick in red. Like even the Lords of Lancaster. Look at that trim. Like imagine that on what, blue and blue? Ugh. Sync shot, that's not so great. Reminder, sync shot does slightly less than your base damage, but it also gets buffed based on your bonus damage and is an AoE attack. So you really want to find a target which is like low armor, or you have a direct counter effectively. And you want to find a Vulcan. Trying to snipe C2 is difficult. I think for Calp, he thought it was worth it because the range on the synchronized shot is like here. The range on sync shot, I think, is 9-12 range, I want to say. It's pretty good. Yeah, at this point, I think Calp should. His army is bigger, but it's also a lie. It's mostly spears. And I praise the spear choice, but within reason, man. To make matters worse, you can help against Springles. Luckily, Springles do not get buffed by the range of the keys. That would be ridiculous. God, can you imagine 15% from the 8 tower range? They'd be up at 9.2. That's coming in though. Calp, he's folding like a pack of cards already. Boy's folding harder than origami. He's going to go for the backstab with a small group of cavalry. Not really deeply impactful numbers here. He's going to go straight for the Trebs. The Springles are mopping up. We have some shed gold on the west side. Castle is about to drop. That's bad as well for Calp. I don't think he can hold this without the static defense to assist here. That's going to be it. It does go down. Villagers were inside that, so he's actually idled the whole time. This looks over. He's got Fruit TC behind this, but at this stage, Calp just has nothing left in the arsenal to fire with. Props for Corvinus finding a way to just play KT aggressive. What do you guys think? We've seen a lot of TC booming play. This is a very different approach to Knights Templar, and honestly, I loved every second of it.